So here's the first box. These numbers you guys see up here, just kind of ignore those right now. We're sorting out new numbers for these guys. They'll probably be 14,000 series, so we'll have to see on that later. This first one I'm going to bust out for you guys is our high-low 3-to-1s. Previously, we've only carried our 3-to-1s in mid-low motor mount positions. Now we're going to carry them in high-low as well. So we'll start with the high-lows. Of course, you'll get your mounting screws there. And now for the good stuff, the gearboxes. Everything I'm going to show you guys here is going to be in the 58mm or the long shaft gearboxes. Reason being is because I already have all the short shaft gearboxes in my tanks. I've been playing with them for a while. So the 58 ones I've already cleaned up for you guys. Now, you can already tell the resistance is a lot less compared to the previous models. These guys also have perfect shimming. I mean, there's literally no play between the gears. This is something that we wanted to make sure that we had because in the zinc, there's a little bit of play, which is to be expected. And our last steel ones were pretty good, but on these, I wanted to make sure they were perfect. So, I mean, if you guys see, there's almost just absolute zero play kind of thing. And then, of course, we got the bearings. So just on this 3-to-1, we got bearings in each of the load bearing shafts as well. So this one's going to have 16 bearings on this one, or on the 3-to-1 sets anyways. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 6 on the other side, and then 2 more here on the final drive. So there's going to be 8 on this one and 8 on this one. There's pretty much no difference when it comes to the gears themselves. We did change the motors as well as the caps on the end, so they'll be a little bit cleaner installs now. So that is the 3-to-1 high-lows. Now let's go ahead and pull out the 3-to-1 mid-lows right here. And once again, these are going to be the exact same gear ratio. Just what we're doing now is we actually have, of course, mounting screws again. But these will be in the mid-low motor mount position for things like the Panzer IVs, Panzer IIIs, Stugs, things that require these kind of mount positions. So this is a mid-low right here. You guys can see this is the middle motor mount position and then a low mount position. On the high-lows, they look like this. The motors sit on top of each other. So that's why we call them a high-low and then a mid-low. So it's just, when we say that, that's just the motor mount position. Once again, these guys, the exact same gear ratio. We've just moved the motor mount on this one to fit a few different tanks. Once again, the gears are shimmed, amazing, bearings all the way through, black motors, black gearbox cases, which I had changed. I just felt the silver was a little too boring. I guess that's the best word for it. So black looks really good, so we're going to keep that. Now, of course, this is going to be our more popular gear set right here, which is the 4-in-1. Mounting screws, of course. Now, the 4-in-1s are actually some of our most popular ones due to the different gear ratio. The 4-to-1s offer a little bit more torque and a little less speed, but for the tanks outside, you're not really looking for speed. You're really looking for that pulling power, the ability to creep. And with these 3-to-1s, just to let you guys know, since there's such little resistance, you will be able to creep on the 3-to-1s about the same that you could on our old steel 4-to-1s. That's how much the bearings make a difference. Now, on the new 4-to-1s with the bearings, because we got bearings in all the low bearing shafts here and the final drive, these are going to offer the same amount of torque as the last ones, but with a lot more power on demand. The initial starts are going to be a lot smoother when you actually let off the throttle. You know what I mean? You're going to have way less resistance. So you're actually going to roll to a stop compared to the previous gearboxes where you almost hit a dead stop when you let off the throttle. So once again, these guys are shimmed perfectly, just like all the other normal ones where we do have the new black cam motors, the new gearbox color on the outside. Even the shafts are shimmed a little better. I had them add in extra spacers in here, so I mean these guys are where they should be. Now, our final gearboxes. I've been working on these for a long time. These guys will probably release a little later than the 3-to-1s and the 4-to-1s. trying to find the perfect gear ratio and motor matches and stuff like that. Mounting screws, of course, like all of them. But these are going to be our dual ratio gearboxes. These are extremely popular when we do keep them in stock. They used to be brass, so we used to call these guys the brass gearboxes. I decided it was time for an update, so I had these remade over in steel now. So as you guys can see, they're steel, and it allows you to run it in two different ratios. You've got this third gear reduction right here, and you can either flip this pinion gear. There's actually two set screws here. There's one on the bottom here, one on the top. So you can actually flip this pinion gear 180 degrees by removing this E-clip right here, and you can run it off of this third reduction. Or you can run it off the fifth reduction right here. We were thinking about some names for these guys, and dual ratio just seems like the easiest way to go. The only disadvantage to these guys is they're both low motor mounts. So unlike the high-low motor mounts and the mid-lows, which overlap each other, this allows you to have a lot bigger gear motors, or a lot bigger brush motors anyways. And with these, we have to run 360 motors, while normally in our gearboxes, we run about 380 motors. So there is a little bit of a difference there. That's what I'm trying to work on right now, is to make sure I've got motors in these guys that even when they're running the 3-to-1 reduction, I want them to have enough torque to do the majority of features like super spins and stuff like that, even on our heaviest things like the Tiger one. So these guys I'm still working on actively. I have the gear ratio changed on the gears themselves, and I'm working on the motor changes. I believe I'm on the second or third motor revision right now, still testing these guys. These are my favorite gearboxes. I also use these guys on my brushless conversions whenever I use these. I run outrunner motors on these, save a lot of space. Usually run 28 millimeter by 30 millimeter or so. That's around a 360 size. But yeah, so that's our gearboxes. We have the dual ratios here. We have the 4-to-1s right here. And then we've got the two versions of the 3-to-1s. So we're expanding our inventory compared to what we used to do with the 3-to-1s. The 4-to-1s we're just replacing with new ones. And the dual ratio guys, we are working on getting these out to you guys as soon as possible. I'm not going to give you guys a release date for these guys yet, but I will say that I've had them in my tanks for over a month now, and they are super, super ready. I think, honestly, what's holding us up right now are the 5-to-1s. So I will probably release these guys before I release the 5-to-1s, because I want to make sure that these are perfect. These guys are going to change the tank world, guys. Just think you can have two different ratios in one gearbox. If you want to go outside and play around and bash around, you can go into the speed mode. And then when you want to actually battle each other or creep or do stuff like that, you can run it over into the low speed reduction here. So these guys are where it's at. Once I get this finalized, everyone's going to be going for these. And just so you guys know, all of these gearboxes will be made available in 48 and 58 millimeter shafts. On the newest, because these are all going to get new product numbers, guys. When we do these product numbers, we have an L and an S at the end of the product numbers to make it a little easier on you guys when you're ordering. So the L will be the 58 millimeter shafts, and the S will be the 48 millimeter shafts. 48 millimeter shafts go for like Tigers, Panzer 3s, Panzer 4s. 58 millimeter shaft for like King Tigers, Yacht Tigers, and stuff like that. So if you guys are confused on which one it takes, just give me a call up or email me or hit me up on RCUniverse, Facebook. You guys know where to find me. And I'll let you know which one you need, what the model number is, prices, where you can find them, and stuff like that. So once again, this is Eric over at Taigen, and we'll see you guys soon.